Okay, so definitely when it comes to time, one of the biggest time wasters that most people feel like they just probably ignore this part of where they're spending their time is social media. So we all probably get attached to our phones at times, and I think that phones are fabulous devices. But what we often don't think about is just those one little, 1 hour here or an hour there, like how it accumulates over the course of a year. So I always think that when people say that they don't have time, like that's one of the biggest lies that we can tell ourselves. Like all you have is time in life. Okay, you have time stretched out before you. You had time yesterday. You had time tomorrow, and so we really have to think about how we are using our time and if we're using it on the things that are most important to us. So when you think about how you're spending your time, and if you are spending even just 1 hour on your phone, on social media, and you think it doesn't really matter, like over the course of a year, that adds up to 365 freaking hours a year. It's like 15 days of your life. Like we all wish for holidays, and to imagine that you were spending 2 weeks of your year glued to your phone, like that's one of the number one areas that I really recommend that everyone has a look at. Go and look at your analytics or your screen time on your phone and make sure that you are not losing hours and losing days over the course of a year to that number one thing. The second thing, or second place, that we often waste our time is with mind drama. Like rather than just making a decision, like we insist on staying confused. I don't know what to do. Where should I go next? What should I be focusing on? And once again, like that adds up to time over the course of a year. So it's really important that in terms of like your mindset, making clear decisions, making sure that you're not letting overwhelm like hold you back, or you're constantly doubting yourself, you're constantly procrastinating. Those sort of things are going to just take away, steal hours from your day. And time is like our most precious commodity. So when you're losing it to your own mind drama, like you're almost like your own worst enemy inside your own head, you've really got to like make sure that you are the boss of your own days rather than letting the days run you. And I
Mm.
mean, the list could go on and on. Like we have distractions, and we have like saying yes when you really want to say no. And you have just, like it's when you are not in control of the way that you spend your time. That is when you're wasting the time. You're giving it away to other people and other obligations and things that don't matter most to you. But when you are spending your time on the things like that are most important to you, your priorities that you've identified ahead of time, and you're spending your time according to your priorities and making sure that they come first, that definitely is a way to just take back your time.
What's an example of mind drama? And the reason why I ask
Oh my
that
gosh.
is that we've got more than 60,000 thoughts per day, and it's this stream of consciousness. And the brain goes from one idea to another thought, and it's just this ongoing stream. And oftentimes people can't pause it and freeze frame it and figure out exactly what they're focusing on. So, what's an example of mind drama?
Well, the biggest mind dramas are definitely like confusion, staying stuck in indecision. It's anything that's not making you feel good about yourself or about the decisions that you're making or about your goals. Like if something's making you feel really bad, I always call that a crappy thought. And I always love to use the analogy of like, just imagine that you're in a boat, right? And that all the thoughts are swimming around you. Like you said, there are 60,000 thoughts every day. And we don't really realize that you have the power to actually choose to focus on thoughts that are going to give you the results that where it's going to take you where you want to go in life. So one of the things, like I have a psychology background, and I remember like that first day sitting in my psychology lecture, and they told me, your thoughts are going to impact your feelings, which impact your actions and your results in life. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, like my thoughts are that powerful, and I just assumed that those thoughts are, it's almost like a running commentary in your brain. Like I didn't understand, like okay, I can actually shift those thoughts if I want to. I can choose to let them go. And I think that, if anyone ever knocked on your door and they had like, really, muddy shoes and a whole pile of rubbish, like you wouldn't let them come into your house. And yet we allow, dirty, crappy, rubbish thoughts to enter our mind. And we really have to like learn to understand, like, even if a thought doesn't serve you, and even if it's really negative, it's still going to, like, you're a human, you're going to have negative thoughts and positive thoughts. That's totally normal. But you get to choose the ones that you hold on to tightly, the ones that you repeat to yourself every single day, the ones that you are going to hold, like, take you where you need to go. You need to, like, make sure that you're consciously choosing, you get to choose your thoughts. And if you don't like a thought, you let it go and you grab onto, like sometimes someone has to say to you, like, this is what I want to be thinking. This is what I want to be doing. Like, I want to I want to be achieving this result in my life. Well, what sort of thoughts do you need to be thinking about yourself? And it often comes down to like that, having that strong belief in yourself and understanding that you are the boss of your own brain. Like, of course, there's always going to be a little toddler that runs around in your brain, but it's almost like when you're in driving a car, like the toddler's always going to sit in the back, but you don't let it like take hold of the steering wheel and lead you in a direction that you don't want to go. Like, you put it back in the place. The negative thoughts are always going to be there, but you get to decide what thoughts you want to be holding on to, what thoughts are taking you in the direction that you want to go, what thoughts make you feel good. That's like my biggest like barometer when it comes to what do you want to hold on to, what do you want to let go of. Hold on to thoughts that make you feel good about yourself, let go of the ones that don't. And so anything that doesn't fall into the bracket of making you feel good about yourself, I would call that a mind drama thought. It's making you feel as if your life is a drama. It's not making you feel at peace. It's not making you feel joyful and as if you're confident and, giving you all the feelings, positive feelings that you need to be embracing in order to get you to take those actions that will get you the results that you want in life.
Our family, we do affirmations every morning,
Love
and
that.
we have a belief that you don't choose your thoughts, your thoughts choose you.
Mm.
And we have a very short period of time in the morning where we can get conscious control on those thoughts. Normally, they say it's about 4 seconds. Now, I don't have 4 seconds to get up in the morning and give my kids the right affirmations because they're up so much earlier than I am. So I stay in bed. But on the way to school, we start the affirmations. So we got in our elevator today, we went down to the ground floor, and we walked outside. And my son said to me, he said, Dad, are we doing our affirmations today? Now, he's only 6, but he's ingrained this habit. And I said, we are. And he said, what's the affirmation this month? I said, it's I'm proud of myself.
I love
And he
that.
said, well, what does I'm proud of myself mean? And I thought to myself, well, it's about being happy with who you are. It's about recognizing the things that you're doing good. It's looking in the mirror and liking what you see. In Chinese, we say, hao bang, like you're doing very well. And he thought about it and he went, yeah, I'm proud of myself. And so then he did his affirmations. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of myself. And one of the things a lot of people don't realize about affirmations is you can only hold one thought in your mind consciously at a time. And it'll either be positive or it will be a negative thought. And with the affirmations, you can substitute immediately a negative thought for a positive thought. And whilst you're holding on to that positive thought, I'm proud of myself, the negative thoughts don't slip in. And that's how you can choose your thoughts consciously, and you do it deliberately, and you do it by design. And as you said in your psychology studies, your thoughts, those 60,000
Mm-hmm.
thoughts you have, influence your feelings, and those feelings determine what you do and what you don't do. And I think a lot of us do a lot of things that we shouldn't. We procrastinate, and we also forget to set goals for ourselves. We forget to set a direction for our life. So, with your knowledge in psychology, why is setting clear goals so important for people?
Well, I really feel like goals are the things that give you direction in life. Goals are almost like your guiding compass. Like, if you don't have a goal for the day, it's so easy to waste so much time at doing nothing. But when you've set a particular goal, then it leads you to actually taking action. Then you can go ahead and set those little baby steps. Like, that is the secret to getting to any goal, is just to break it down in the tiniest little chunks. Then you can actually go ahead and take action. But without that goal in place, like something that sets your heart on fire, that why, something that drives you, that gives you motivation to succeed in life. And I always think that a clear goal has to be something that's really clear to you, like clearly defined. You've got to know, okay, this is what that means. I'm not just losing weight, I'm going to be losing 5 kilos, or I'm not just going to write, a book and publish it sometime in the future. Like, it's got to have that deadline attached to it. It's like that quote when they say that, the things that set the millionaires apart from the billionaires, the millionaires are writing down their goals once a day, and the billionaires are setting their goals and writing them down twice a day. And there's so many people, like, I think there's that famous study, I think it was a Harvard study, that looked at, the people that set their goals once they were at university, and they clearly defined what they wanted to achieve. Like, moving forward, they were the most successful people in life. Because if I don't know what I'm going to be doing today, and I don't know what I'm going to be doing next month, it's easy to do nothing. But to do something, you've got to have something to be working towards, and something that you know that you want to achieve. And I really think that the most important part is having a goal that you love, and that's aligned with your values and with your priorities. Because one of the reasons that we don't achieve our goals is because they never really set our heart on fire. It wasn't really in alignment with our priorities. We didn't really want it so bad. Like, you've got to be committed to those goals. You've got to find and pinpoint specifically, like, why do you think that you're here on earth? Like, what is your one goal that you want to be working towards? And people often get flustered because they set 10 million goals. And I think that sometimes it's better just to set 1 to 2 or 3, and no more than 3. Just focus on the biggest things that you want to be working on, and that is what you're going to be devoting your time towards.
My daughter, her goal for 2023 was to have grades or above 90%. And every day she spoke her goal out loud 10 times. So after she does the affirmation, builds up that self-worth and self-esteem, builds up that confidence, and then she says the goals. It is now the 28th of December 2023, and my grades are above 90%. And when we set this goal, we made sure it was realistic. She wanted 100%. She wanted to get to 95%, but it wasn't realistic, because when we're on that educational journey, there's so many things we don't know. And a lot of people have had that experience in the past where they set the goal too big too soon and they fall short of it. And instead of celebrating the wins along the way, they only experience the failure of not achieving the goal. And then they believe goal setting doesn't work. And that component of being realistic for you is so important. Now, on top of that, we have our motivators. My daughter is very scholarly. She loves to learn. She loves school. So it's the perfect goal for her because she is scholarly and she enjoys education, where not everybody has a thirst for education. But the way they learn doesn't mean they can't learn. They just learn differently. So we've got to make sure that these goals set our heart on fire. Like you're saying, we've got that extrinsic motivation. And a lot of people set goals to be a billionaire, but internally, $1 billion doesn't set their heart on fire. What it does and what they really want is they want that sense of freedom. They want that peace of mind that they think money's going to bring them. And if they slightly adjusted their goals, they would actually find one that was more worthy for them. And they'd say, you know what? I'm not going to sleep in. I'm not going to procrastinate. I'm not going to delay because this one's really important for me. And so that meaning is essential. And this is the time of year that people reconsider their life. We're coming up to the end of the year. We're about to start a new year, and they start to think, new year, new me. I get another opportunity to become a better version of myself. So in your opinion, what transformations must occur to get ahead in the new year?
Okay, I feel like there's maybe 2 or 3 really important places to start. So number one, going back to the goals, you definitely need to set stretchy goals that don't break you. Like you said before, if you set an unrealistic goal, there's a chance that you're going to give up ahead of time. But when you set a goal that's too easy, then you'll sort of lose that momentum. There's no real drive and no excitement about stepping outside your comfort zone. So just that little bit stretchy, it stretches you, but it doesn't break you. That's always fine, that perfect middle. The second part is definitely focusing on yourself, your own self-belief, because it doesn't matter what goals that you set for yourself. If you're walking into the year and you've set yourself goals and you don't believe that you can do it, and you're already talking yourself down, you're playing small, you just haven't got that belief really strong. I hate to predict something terrible, but there's a good chance that you are going to fail ahead of time. There's this thing that we call in psychology, which is the who before the how. Everyone always wants to know, well, okay, I'm going to set a goal and you just tell me exactly how do I achieve it. Tell me all the little steps. I'm going to follow all the steps and then I'm going to get that goal too. But in reality, what matters more than the how to any goal is making sure that the who, who you need to be. So you've got to be thinking about, well, how do you want to enter the year? Who do you want to become? And it's always all those little connectors, that comes back to your thoughts. It's thinking and deciding ahead of time that you're going to approach the new year with a good, healthy mindset, because whatever you set, if you don't have that healthy mindset first, that little piece, it's that domino, everything's just going to collapse afterwards. You've got to have a really good, strong foundation. And the foundation is always a really healthy mindset where you believe in yourself. And that is definitely the first place that you start. You've got to be choosing thoughts. It's actually really funny when you spoke about the affirmations before. People who scoff at affirmations don't realize that you're actually saying affirmations all the time. Okay, they're just not positive affirmations. Like, we just understand that definition of affirmations as being positive. But when you were telling yourself, I can't do it every single day, or next year's just, destined to be, nothing special, I'm going to fail, that is an affirmation that you're telling yourself. It just happens to be a negative one. So in terms of like transforming your year, that starts by transforming the way that you think about yourself. Because when you have that foundation, it's like a solid foundation to any home. When you build that concrete, solid foundation, then anything else that you do from that, it's almost like you're unstoppable, because it doesn't matter what you choose to do. When your belief in yourself is really strong, then it's inevitable that you succeed. When you have that strong mindset, number one, and then having doable, stretchy goals. I also like to call them, it's like doable doubt. Okay, you're a little bit nervous, you're not sure, am I going to get there? But you're willing to try. You're not too scared to try it. Like, there's some people who, suggest setting really impossible, crazy goals and, working towards that. But anything that makes you feel too scared, like way too scared, and as if it's not really going to happen, like there's zero chance. You want just to feel as if you've got like a 70% chance of hitting the goal. If that's enough just to get you moving in the right direction,